Dear reader, before I start or continue reading out the movie idea, a couple of quick updates. Decided to make this site only about the School of Comedy. It's going to be start off with me reading what I have so far and then sharing that document on this site, and then I'll continue to add to the script or refine it or start a fresh final version or whatever. I'm not sure. Mostly gonna keep writing the script. Documenting my life. And then I guess I'll hope that someone will fucking notice one day. And to that end, there's 3 levels of membership on this site. Monthly, $5 a month. Yearly, $240. Or founding member / movie producer for $1,000 Canadian. So $1,000 Canadian, I'll put you down as a movie producer and I'll share the profits with you, with the goal being you getting 10 times back what you put in. Chances are you'll get 0. You might break even, but my goal is 10 times at least, if not more, because why the fuck not? At this point, what difference does it make? None. On a day in the life of Dave, here's the big news in British Columbia. Government liquor store workers and government cannabis store workers are on strike. Those stores are closed. I can throw a bit of an inconvenience in for people in BC, inconvenience in their lives. Although there's plenty of private liquor stores and more than enough private cannabis stores, they should be happy. They should be doubling or tripling their business at least. One of the stores is smart. They have a guy standing out in front of the closed cannabis store handing out coupons for 10% off to their store. Brilliant. Exactly what I do. I owned a cannabis store, but I don't. I own a movie idea. That's the only one thing I own, which I'm selling $1,000 a pop. By the way, that $1,000 isn't going to actually produce the movie. It's going to feed homeless people, and I'm going to write about that. Or people in need. Or anyone. I get $1,000 and a bunch of pizza cards. I'll probably just go up to the first person that looks as lonely as I do and say, hey, do you want to have a fucking pizza? Basically, all I want from the individual is $5 a month. Individual listening, that is. You, the listener, reader, whatever the fuck you are. Anything over and above that will go to a much better cause than filling my mouth. I think that's all the news for a day in the life of Dave. The fall colors are here. Normally I'd be excited. Without a camera, it's kind of pointless. Only one cute kid at the Royal Palace so far today, but it's early. Alright, so I guess this episode's kind of an intro and an episode. And if I get enough founders and movie producers, I'll edit this audio. If people request it. If they don't and they like this format as is, then I guess it stays. I really don't give a shit. Scene, Joe and Morgan. Interior, Joe Rogan Experience Studio. Day, post Jimmy Carr interview. The studio is quiet, mics off, lights dim. After Jimmy Carr's podcast, Joe Rogan, rugged and wired, strides back in, patting his pockets. Joe, muttering, forgot my damn fanny pack. Spots it on a chair, grabs it, and turns to leave. Freezing as Morgan Freeman sits calmly in the guest chair, hands folded. Joe jolts, nearly dropping the pack. Joe, holy fuck, you scared the shit out of me. Morgan, I have that effect on people. Joe, what the fuck are you doing in here? What the fuck's going on? Morgan, relax, Joe. Why don't you take a seat? Joe hesitates, then slumps into his host chair, eyes wide. Train. Joe, am I dreaming? Am I high? What the fuck's going on? Morgan Freeman, you're not dreaming, Joe. You might be high. I don't know. Probably are. But that's not what's happening. I've stopped time, Joe. Joe, it's so quiet in here. Morgan, technology doesn't work in this time space, Joe. No computers running, nobody talking outside in the hall. It's just you and me. Joe, like we're in a thought bubble? Morgan, exactly. You're a very intelligent man, Joe. I know you don't like compliments, but suck it up, because I'm going to give you a few, and you're going to accept them. Understand? Joe, understood. Morgan. This isn't Bruce Almighty, Joe. It's not Joe Almighty. It's not anybody Almighty. It's everybody Almighty, with your help. I'm Morgan Freeman, the actor, but also Morgan Freeman, God. Joe, is that why you did those movies? Morgan, no. In fact, I didn't know I was God when I did those movies. Funny, isn't it? Joe, I'm a bit more curious about how you stopped time, Morgan. Morgan, I'll get to that, Joe. But for now, we all have the time and the I'll get to that, Joe. But for now, we have the shitty sentence. I'll get to that, Joe. But for now, we have all the time in the world. When you leave this room, time will have not changed. Joe glances at the coffee pot. Cold dregs slosh inside. He shows it to Morgan, who nods. Morgan, that'll do, Joe. Joe, I guess I can't go make some more? Morgan, not yet. We're stuck in this room together, Joe, but you're welcome to smoke whatever you want. Joe, will it help me get out of this dream? Morgan, it's not a dream, Joe. Joel, feels a little bit like a mushroom trip. Morgan, that's to be expected. When time stops, everything feels different. Joel, so, we're here. What's your story, Morgan, or God? Or what do you want to be called? Morgan. Morgan is fine, Joe. Joel, alright, Morgan, what's the story? Morgan, I just listened to your podcast with Jimmy, and Jimmy's right. How does universe... And Jimmy's right. How does universe work? How does the universe work, Joe? Joel, wouldn't you know? Didn't you create it? Morgan, I'm asking for your theory, Joel. Brain in a bottle, simulation, multiverse, etc. Joel, I have no idea. Too many people believe too many concepts, all without hard science. By the way, listener, hope you're enjoying this because I think it's a pretty good fucking story. If you're not, enjoying it, I hear giving away money to charity. It does something for your heart, makes it feel better. It's just giving money to me is basically giving it to charity. I should really just sign up for foundership, become a producer, listener, reader, whatever. Joel, wouldn't you know? Didn't you create it? Morgan, I'm asking your theory, Joel. Brain in a bottle, simulation, multiverse, etc. Joel, I have no idea. Too many people believe too many concepts, all without hard science. Morgan, agreed. On the other hand, what has science provided recently? Name one miracle invention that helps all of mankind equally, not just those who can afford it. Joel, globally? Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. Morgan, what do you want your legacy to be, Joe? First billionaire comedian? And before you respond, I already know it's not about the money for you. I understand. It's your money and your business, how you choose to spend it. It's your money and your business, how you choose to spend it. Joe, but? Morgan, exactly, but. Name one charitable foundation created by a comedian. However you wish to define comedian. Define that word. But especially a dead comedian. Joe, I can't. Morgan, exactly, because there are none directly working with those in need. There are few foundations, but if you, one of the top comedians and podcasters in the world, can't name them, then what's the point? Joe, okay, what's your point? Where are you heading with this? Morgan, I can't tell you what to do with your life, Joe. But I can share my observations, but I can share my observations, Joe. If you, the listener, are wondering why I read this so fast, it's because it's like I'm downloading it. I just read it out loud, get it into my head, and then I'll be ready for the next scene by the time this is all done. Which we're just barely over halfway of the current script, and I'm still adding to it. Little white dog is back. Brown dog isn't here to chase it. Joel, please do. Morgan, first I should explain. I have two modes. One, Morgan Freeman the actor, who lives in the same time space as you do. Two, Morgan Freeman, God. First, I should explain. I have two modes. One, Morgan Freeman the actor, who lives in the same time space as you do. Two, Morgan Freeman, God. In God mode, like this, I can remember every one of your podcasts word for word. In Morgan mode, I suffer the same memory issues as anyone my age. I prefer Morgan mode, and the following suggestions are coming from his perspective. Make sense? Joe, a lot of third-person references, but yes, we're having a conversation. God, isn't? Commanding me to do something. Those page breaks are a bitch sometimes. For some reason, the Kobo, you can't read in landscape, but I don't know why they do that. The Kindle, you could. In case you care, listener. A lot of third-person references, but yes, we're having a conversation. God isn't. Commanding me to do something. Morgan, exactly. You can read my mind, Joe. Joe, don't get me started on telepathy. Morgan, sorry, off topic. This is my vision for you, Joe. I don't care if you follow it or not. It's your choice, your life. But I see an opportunity that's only possible for one person on this planet. You, Joe. Joe, okay. Morgan, Jimmy's right. You'll be the first billionaire comedian on this planet. But that doesn't mean anything to you, does it, Joe? Joe nods, sipping the cold coffee. Morgan continued. I've heard you say several times in JRE that Jesus needs to return. Would you like that, Joe? If I sent him back, what difference do you think he'd make that you couldn't already do yourself? Joe, walk on water? Morgan, didn't Chris Angel or David Blaine do that? David's been on the show, yes? Joe, yes. Morgan, Jesus didn't walk on water, Joe. People back then were too naive to understand the story. It's been misinterpreted. Joe, and the Bible? Morgan, I'll get to that, Joe. Do you want Jesus? Joe, is it an option? Morgan, answer the question first, Joe. Joe, I think the world needs a supernatural Jesus-type figure. Morgan, why? Joe, to wake them up. Morgan, from Joe, the fog I once lived in, or confusion. Might be a better word. Now when I wake up, I feel awake. I have my entire day, week, month to look forward to. Most people on this planet aren't as lucky. Maybe a Jesus would give them a reason to be hopeful. Morgan, fair enough. But Jesus isn't coming back. You'll have to take over. I'm gonna make you as famous as my favorite son. I know you think that's Jesus, but it's not him. Adam was my favorite. Jesus, not so much. Problem child, Joe. Joe, not a chance. I'll never be Jesus. Morgan, anonymously. Another A word, anonymously. There's something about A words and 3 or 4 syllables that this mouth cannot comprehend. Morgan, anonymously. Joe, how? Morgan. Train. Someday I'd like to go back through all my files and find the date when I originally wrote this. I remember doing it by hand because I remember copying and pasting Joe and Morgan back and forth and then filling this shit in, but whatever. Morgan, I want you to start a secret organization with your friends and family, which I assume a large percentage are comedians. Basically, Joe, anyone you trust with your life or your deepest, darkest secrets, anyone you're willing to discuss this conversation with, who won't think you're crazy. Make sense? Make sense, listener? Joe, how do I know this isn't all a hallucination? Morgan, you don't. Why do you care if it is? Isn't this a great story either way? Morgan fucking Freeman sitting in your studio? Tell a story. Tell them you were fucked up on whatever. Just tell the people you trust. Joe, okay. Morgan, what's the biggest problem on the planet right now, Joe? Joe, the homelessness crisis. If anyone's ever seen those blue jean jackets that have that soft, wool-like interior, there's a lady in the park with a full-length one. It's quite a fashion statement, I'd say. Says the man wearing all black today. Everything I have on me is black, except for the soles of my shoe and my water bottle. In my eyes. Joe, okay. Morgan, what's the biggest problem on the planet right now, Joe? Joe, the homelessness crisis. Morgan, and don't you think you could solve that, Joe? Joe, what, me personally? Yes, you, Joe, personally. Not with money, with your mind, your ability, your knowledge. I think it's crass for God to ask for money directly, Joe, and I'm not. I am, however, going to make a suggestion about your wealth. Joe, go ahead. Morgan, you never talk about it on your show, but I suspect you donate to several charities a year. Joe, yes. Morgan, and you already basically keep that a secret from the world. You're not posting photos of you handing out oversized checks to charity organizations. Joe, never. Morgan, exactly why I picked you, Joe. I assume you plan on continuing donating a DVD. Well, here we go. So there's a guy with a same size dog as the girl with the white dog, but this one's black and gray. And it's a guy with the dog, and the white dog is a girl, and they're about the same age, so I think they should try and hook up. A little dog park hookup. And then this story wouldn't be so fucking boring. Morgan, exactly why I picked you, Joe. I assume you plan on continuing donating in secret, or maybe even more as you continue to lead the podcast industry? Joe, probably. Morgan, now here's my basic plan. Do with it as you please, but understand, this isn't like Bruce Almighty. Once this conversation is over, I won't stop time or see you again until you either give up or complete the goal. Joe, and the goal is, Morgan, end homelessness permanently. Instead of you donating to other organizations, you create your own. Joe, not possible. Ending homelessness. Another organization, even a secret one, won't help. Morgan, Joe, do you want to debate me or listen? Bill Murray was right. Your perspective on the situation is off. Wrong, actually. I wonder who the last person that told Joe off was. Probably his wife. Maybe one of his daughters put him in place. Who knows? Joel, my terminology was incorrect. No, people aren't being paid to shit on cars. Morgan, exactly. How many times a year have you used that expression over the past year? Joe, a lot. Morgan, how many times did you mention the project in Austin to get people off the street with tiny homes? Joe, probably not enough if you're mentioning it. Morgan, I'm simply stating you're the most powerful man in the world right now. People listen to your words, your thoughts, your emotions. They feel your pain, your success, your frustration. Joe, I'm not that powerful. Joe, I'm not powerful. Morgan, you're not purposely using your power, correct, but that doesn't decrease the power of your words. Joe, fair enough. Morgan, you have all the knowledge in your head required to solve the homelessness issue in North America, which, to be fair, is probably the worst in the world. Other cities have pockets. North American cities have communities of homeless people. And you, Joe, a comedian, can cure the entire epidemic. Joe, with money? Morgan, no, not just with money. The money is a kickstart. You'll solve it with being, well, you. Let me ask you this, Joe. Do you think almost every paid comedian on the planet is a little kid trying to impress their parents? Joe, maybe not their parents, but yes, the good ones either had or have something to say or prove. Morgan, that's where you come in, Joe. Most new comedians are one step away from homelessness anyway. How many stories do you have or hear from comedians about sleeping on another comic's couch or floor or wherever until they make it? Joe, a lot. Almost nightly in the green room. I think this one scene's going to take me 30 minutes to read out. Even as fast as I'm reading it. Morgan, sound a lot like the struggles of the homeless person, no? Especially just before they hit the streets, around their friends and family, couches, no job, no skill, and eventually kicked out of every possible place. Morgan continued. Except in the case of the homeless, they fall through the cracks. There aren't other formerly homeless people offering up their couches to the current homeless. Joel, what are you suggesting? I open a shelter? Morgan, no, I'm only pointing out that I find it interesting that comics are willing to help each other, but the moment the person isn't funny, they're left on the street to rot or make jokes about. Joel, rot? Morgan, I'm being dramatic, Joel. And to clarify, I don't think it's the responsibility of comedians to cure homelessness. I simply see it as an opportunity. Joel, lay out your plan, Mr. Freeman. Morgan. Joel, Morgan. Create a charitable organization that cannot be traced back to you. Train. Alright, black dog's off leash, going nuts. White dog's gone. I'm going to tell this guy, if you'd come just a little bit earlier, there's a cute Asian girl with a white dog. Just going to be a matchmaker. Until I can start taking pictures of little kids in the park. Morgan, create a charitable organization that cannot be traced back to you. You know lots of rich people. They know how to do this. That's the first one you trust with this conversation. Create a board of directors, again, anonymously. If you don't trust anyone, start with you and your wife. I'll assume you'll talk to her about this conversation. Donate 10% of your yearly income to this organization. Morgan, ask your rich friends how to hide this. I don't care about you getting a tax break for the donation. It's more important it's anonymous than saving you a few bucks that you don't actually need. Interrupt me if I'm wrong, Joe. Otherwise, I'll continue. Joe nods, sipping more cold coffee. Morgan, then, when you find someone like Alan Graham, founder of the Christian Social Outreach Ministry, Mobile Loaves and Fishes, on your show, and if you believe in his methods, message, or madness, donate a large sum of money, or whatever you decide, anonymously, to the organization. I already know you don't publish your good deeds, and I'm not asking you to start. Anonymous is better. Joel, why anonymous? Morgan, why? You know why, Joel. Joel, because every media outlet would be on it in a second and criticizing me. Morgan, and more. They hate you, Joel. You, one single person, destroyed the entire mainstream media when you had Trump on. They hate you, Joe. Everything will be anonymous, but it'll also be tracked. Joe, 10% of my yearly income is a lot to give away. Morgan, I understand. I'm also asking that anyone who joins your secret organization donates that amount. Joe, it's getting a little LDS. Did they get a planet after they die too? Morgan, no planet, Joe. 10% is a forgettable amount for any successful comedian. Joe, so essentially I create a trust fund to end homelessness? Morgan, in the beginning, yes. Then, when you find individuals helping the homeless, you help the person or organization. As an example, there are many YouTubers who are actively and successfully getting people off the street. Joe, donate to them. Morgan, yes, and encourage them to do more with the money. Take it further. Joe, what if they keep the money for themselves and don't help the homeless? Morgan, that will probably happen, maybe more than once. It'll be a temptation for some. But I feel you can hear the sincerity in a person's voice, and your judgment will prevent too much of that. And who gives a shit? There are going to be a few failures. Joel, and how's this in homelessness? There are more new homeless arriving daily here in Austin and all the major cities. Morgan, I understand. But are there not also comedians in all these cities? Fellow funny friends? Or these comedians who love a chance to work with Joe Rogan and his famous friends? Joel, probably, yes. Morgan, and could Joe Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe, Jimmy Carr, etc., and 5 local comedians of various levels not sell at an arena show almost anywhere? By the way, listener, if I start talking even faster, it's because I'm cold as fuck. And I know this is almost done. Joel, yes. Morgan, and a show like that can make hundreds of thousands of dollars profit? Joel, yes, I see where you're going. Morgan, where am I going? Joel, you're looking for a comic relief type charity. Morgan, fuck no. Beat. Pardon my language, but no. How many people did they help after everyone was paid to put on the event? How much did they spend on advertising and everything? Fuck no. Joel, keep it secret. Morgan, yes. You, Tony, and Jimmy can donate as much or as little as you want from the show. The local comedians are probably not in a secret society, so they leave with their full check and the opportunity to perform with top comedians. Great fucking day for them. Joe, then what? Morgan, then find opportunities in that city. Seek out the Alan Grahams, not because they're a religious organization, but simply because they're doing good work, not God's work. Morgan, hire people to help. Maybe you want to teach your daughters the value of money and having a job, but you don't want them slinging burgers at Wendy's. If that's the case, hire them to find all the influencers on social media who are truly helping others. And then, the day after the concert, there just happens to be a large number of donations to all of them in that city. Joe, this seems like a lot of work. Morgan, I agree. Joe, I'm saying my life's pretty perfect right now. This is a change in direction with no guarantee, correct? Morgan, correct, no guarantee. Not even close. It's a huge risk, and you and all your friends may lose all their money. However, time-wise, at most, you lose a little reading time or listening to audiobooks time. Use that time to research and donate directly to people you trust, then pass it off to another to monitor, donate, etc. Then have your people do the same. They just start building a network like you did. Like a reverse multi-level marketing scheme. Morgan, in a sense, yes. Except that becoming rich from a product, you feel better for helping humanity. And, Joe, and, Morgan, and guess, Joe. Joe, I'm clueless. Morgan, and you and a group of rejected loser comedians cure homelessness. Something no politician, no religious figure, no professor, nobody with a degree or a master's or a PhD, or several of all those can do. Cure homelessness. Joe, why comedians? Morgan, it's the ultimate fuck you. You remember your chat with Jimmy? Joe, yes. Morgan, if you think about it, Joe, comedians are more intelligent than all those so-called educated geniuses. Who else can become successful by simply talking into a mic and saying almost anything they fucking please? This is true freedom of thought, Joe. Joe, so it's a fuck you to society from comedians? Morgan, and other like-minded individuals don't need to be a comedian. If you love and trust your dentist, they can be part of the movement too, anonymously. Joel, you think this would end homelessness? Morgan, I don't know, but I think if I were in your position, I would try. Your friend Elon isn't going to solve this one. Why he doesn't care? I'm not sure. I didn't realize I'm God and should know everything. That's not exactly how it works. I'm not sure. I realize I'm God and should know everything. That's not exactly how it works, Joe. If it did, this would be a pretty boring movie. Morgan winks at the camera. A quick, cheeky break. Joe, couldn't you make yourself... Well, shit. I think my script got cut off. Because it's on to the next scene, but... cut off in mid-sentence. I'll have to check that. That's fine. 32 minutes, perfect. As usual. End recording. David J.